All right, another topic I'd like to share with you is just the idea of adding multiple forms to your project. Most programs do have more than one forms that open up and you can interact with. Thus far, the only additional forms we've had are kind of pre-made ones for us, like message boxes and input boxes, and while they have their place and purpose, they don't offer us a lot of flexibility as far as what they can do. So adding additional forms to your project and managing those is an important skill. So I just wanted to show you real quickly how we could do that. I have the slot machine, my slot machine game one right here, and what I'm thinking with this is what I'd really like to do is kind of change the whole thing up and make it a little casino game. So I'm going to have the slot machine, but I'm going to make some other card and dice games, and then they'll all be part of this one big program that's called Casino or whatever. Okay, so I would like to add a new form. That's easy to do here. I just go up to the project menu up here. And when I click project, one of my choices is add Windows form, and I want to do that. And then there's many things I can add in here, but Windows form is selected. That's what I selected, so I can name it right here. So here again, I should give it a prefix FRM and a descriptive name. And I'll add that. And so you notice over here in my Solution Explorer window that I have a new form in here called FRM Casino. Now, what it tries to do is help out a little bit here and put the text property as the same as changing the name, but I don't want that FRM in there, so I'll switch that. So the text property is just that. Now, the idea, I guess, here is going to be that this would be my main form that pops up when I open the program, and then I could pick slots or pick these other games. So one thing that's going on here, one problem I have right now without planning ahead, I put some code in here already earlier to kind of save us time, but if I opened this, if I fixed some of that, didn't have some of that code that refers to things that don't exist in here yet, the slot machine form would be the main form that would open, okay? And I really want this casino form to be first, okay? So in order to make that happen, I need to right click on my project name here in the Solution Explorer, go to Properties for my project, and then on the Application tab here, which is what shows up by default, I've got this Startup form. So I can choose from any of my forms to be the main form that start up my program. So I want to change this to be Form Casino. So now when I go to run this, this will be the form that shows up first. Let's put a couple of things on here. I'm not going to go through all the steps of naming things completely properly and all that, because I don't want to take the time. You know that we would go in here and name this stuff as it should be. I'm going to put a file menu in here. And I'm also going to have one here that says play slots, and we would name that correctly, but I'm going to just go in here. Now, so I have this click event on play slots. What I want to do, I just want to open up my slot machine window then. So what I have to do here is just say form slot machine dot show. And once I do that, that's when I pick that menu item from the casino game, my slot machine form is going to show up and everything will work in there. Now, one other thing that would be nice here is if we had a label in here on the main form here, it would still be good if we had a label that maybe showed them what their token amounts are as they went from game. As they played the game, they could still see the how many tokens they have on here. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Let's go back over here. And so I am going to change the name on this one just because I put some code in here already for this to speed things up. So this is going to be LBL tokens, and we'd probably put some text in there to explain what's going on, but for the sake of time, I'm just going to make it blank right now. But the idea would be when we play slots, that the amount of tokens we have are going to show up in that label that's on there. Okay? So we've got that. Over in our slot machine form, I have added a menu item that says back to lobby and exit here. So when we go to that back to lobby, click event, it's going to form casino is going to show. And then notice I wanted to show you something here. Notice how it says me.hide. Here again, me refers to the current form. So I'm on the slot machine form. So if I want to hide this form and go back to the casino form right then, right? So that's all I have to do right there. Okay. So let's see. Did I get everything put in here? Just want to double check to make sure we got things in here. So when I start this thing now, the casino form shows up. We definitely want to do more stuff with this. But if I choose play slots, then my slot machine form opens here. Okay. And as I play the game, notice how tokens are showing up on that main one out there in the lobby, just like they do here as well. And if I go back to the lobby, it hides my other form right there. Okay. And if I close this out, it's just kind of as simple as that to go back and forth between those different forms. Now we do have to think about how we're managing them a little bit. Here again, tokens was global up here in this one, and if I want it to exist across both forms, I do need it to be global. So this is an instance we like variables to be as local as possible, but if I want to access some of that information on the other one, I do need to make them global. Another thing to consider here, you notice how we hid. And actually, I said show here. We never hid the main form. Let's do something here once. Let's say that when I show the slot machine one, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say me hide. I'm going to hide the casino form. Now this is a problem. You don't want to hide your main form for this reason right here. Let's say I open this, I go play slots. And then let's say the user's playing the slot game. Now, it's not a problem if I click back to lobby, because this one will show up here and the other one goes away. That's fine. But what's the problem here is if the user just clicks the red X up here, you will notice it's maybe not apparent to you right now, but this program's still running. Notice how the stop button up here isn't grayed out. The program is still running. That casino form is still there, taking up memory. It's just hidden. Okay, so now that wasn't an issue if I do that with the casino form. If I have the slot machine, if I have kind of like one of the child forms open and I close the main form, no problem. Everything gets closed. But if I take one of the kind of child forms and I close it from there and I have my main form hidden, that causes problems because that form will still exist. So if you're as you're managing these different forms and having multiple ones, just make sure that your main form does not get hidden, or else it could cause problems where you still have some things running in the background even though the user thinks they closed out the program. Okay, so it's really not too bad. It's pretty simple. There's just some things to think about as you're managing these forms. There's a lot of other ways you could go about this too, as far as having multiple forms in your project. But I think trying to want to keep it move between them by showing and hiding various forms. Just be sure to not hide the main form of your project. All right, I just wanted to add just a short little clip to the end of this video. I know it's gotten long enough, but it strikes me I didn't really show you exactly how you can take data from a variable on one form and put it into a label on another form. Now there's a number of ways to deal with this, but just to remind you here, when I click in my casino thing, I click play slots and then I'm in the slot machine, and my number of tokens shows up there, and it shows back up in the casino for the number of tokens I have. So if I was going to have this work with other games and stuff like that, I could do that. So as soon as I click OK, it's showing up on both of them. It's real easy to do that. There's a number of ways you could deal with this situation, but the easiest way is just I'm on the code for the slot machine. So I'm in the code for the form for my slot machine here. Here, remember, me represents the form I'm on. So on the slot machine form, me label tokens.text equals int tokens. I also wanted to put this, though, on the casino form. So on the casino form, I have a label called label tokens too. When I type in form casino instead of me and put the dot, it gives me the objects that are on that form. And I can pick the label tokens that's over there and say its text property equals this same variable here, and so then it'll show up on the other form. Okay, so now there are other things we'd have to worry about if we wanted to add tokens from another game and all that stuff, but it's real easy to display something held in a variable here on one form in a label on another form. I just type that form's name in instead of what I would normally type as me. So hopefully that helps.